blind babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe, people subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day and every clue. Don't let it go, it's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums. With degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Leaving 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers. Cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic.
What's up, y'all? What's up, Mel?
The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war.
I dare say I have a good show coming up for y'all. But it ain't just a show, it's real goddamn life. And trust me, this is only something I do know something about communications, but this thing right here, it was totally inspired by the times, really, the times for me. This really inspired me. I mean, and not that I haven't been inspired before. Let me give you a little background on myself. You know, born and raised in Washington, D.C. in the 70s. Grew up in the 70s in Washington, D.C. 70s, 80s, 90s. You know what I'm saying? And when I got into the 90s, figured out who I was able to travel a little bit and do some things a little bit with my creativity, my art, after being creative in my own city for some time. Now, anybody that knows anything about DC, I grew up on the northeast side of Capitol Hill and the southeast side of Capitol Hill and Anacostia. So anybody that knows anything about DC, the east side, that's basically everything I am. You know, although when I started doing my art, I traveled all over the city. Even before that, just as a little kid growing up in DC, we would ride our bikes from one side of the city to the other. 7, not 7, let's say 11, 12, this age, 9, 10, from one side to the next, one side. And I mean that. And that was those times. That was the times where people came off of the civil rights era. People had consciousness, love, and I'm talking about all types of people, love for their community, across racial, across many intersections. You see, I grew up in a time where DC had activists, very hip activists, ex hippies, ex civil rights activists, ex this and that. Folks came together in that time period. So it was a very progressive city, DC, right? And very black also. Very, very black, very, very African American, actually, but with a strong history of many other ethnic groups. And those ethnic groups were proud to live in DC and went through those times. And I'm I am the first generation born out of segregation in that city. You see, so the generation before me, parents, it was a segregated city. You see, so that history is not far behind, and we know all about it. All the ethnicities of DC. You could be of, your family could have been of Swedish, German descent some generations back. It could be anything. Italian, could be anything. Irish, it could be anything. If you know DC, you see what I mean. It could also be South American. It could also be African, Caribbean. You see what I mean? It could be a lot of things. It could also be Asian too. So DC is the capital. But having said that, I don't take that for granted. I love that, and I take that everywhere with me. That's my spiritual guide for the world, you know. But I also know something about rising up, people rising up. And I don't know if any of y'all ever heard of the Mount Pleasant riots in DC. Well, I'm going to say this one more time. I was there from the beginning. I saw the beginning before there was even a crowd of people. You see what I mean? I saw the beginning. I saw it when the crowd was forming, under like 20 people. You see what I mean? So, and I seen it for days after also at nighttime too. I seen the Molotov cocktails. I seen the police cars getting burnt up. I seen that stuff. I seen Kentucky Fried Chicken get raided. Let me tell you the Kentucky Fried Chicken story. I mean, if you can do your research on the Mount Pleasant riots, but it was because a man got shot by the police, one man, for drinking a beer. Basically, he was a little drunk, but they harassed him, and I think he pulled out a knife, and the cop shot him, although from a distance. From a distance. But the man was drinking a beer because it was a goddamn festival. It was a day of a festival. Everyone was on the street drinking beer. You know what I'm saying? So, but I guess he didn't know the law totally and didn't have a bag on it, and blah, blah, blah. It turned into one thing to the other. And and that lasted for a week. So over a week, 2 weeks, curfews after that. And people didn't like that. Nobody in the community liked that. So, there's a time to rise up. And to be honest with you, I'm so happy I had that experience because I learned that in my 20s, So some people don't ever learn that. So, we grow up with books. We know about guerrilla warfare in our goddamn city. What are you talking about? We come out of the 60s and we way better today. You see what I mean? We're way better today. Way better. African Americans have always had military veterans in their communities that have served this country. So, and the public schools in DC in the 50s, for the black public schools was up there. They wasn't down there. Why? Because the segregation meant the professors couldn't go teach anybody else in the country, the black professors. So they had to teach in the public high schools, the black professors. You see what I'm saying? The black doctors had to teach in the DC public school high schools. So back in those days, they taught you how to make a bomb in class. You see what I mean? Like, it's a time for everything. I'm not saying that time is now, but these are serious times. And if you pay attention, it looks like they're trying to agitate people into a conflict by being so chaotic, disrespectful, hateful. Yeah. And it looks like they want to push a bunch of people around and, slow walk people into it, which is really cowardly, because if you all want war, then just fucking say so and get to it. But you see, they want to use this psychological tactic where they just beat around the bush here and there, do a little bit here, over there, then run over here and do something else. And that's called slow walking people to the point. Slow walking them. That's all. To where all of a sudden, then, when it's the right time, then you do your big push. But in any case, it is real times. We see this picture here, and we're living in these times. I mean, we're living in the times where the person who's supposed to be at the top of the executive branch is being blackmailed by a foreign government or two. And we're about to see more evidence of that as the executive branch gets dog walked by Putin. Roof, 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 roof. Gets taken out on a walk, like a good little puppy. I mean, is there any sane person on earth that doesn't see this for what it is? Of course, I don't know what kind of strategy this is for the military. You just let people take over your country, foreign governments take over your country. I mean, isn't that an act of war? A foreign government trying to take over your country, foreign government blackmailing your executive branch. Isn't that an act of war? I don't know. You tell me. But in any case, somebody's going to get dog walked anyway, and they're about to travel to Alaska, right? Isn't that what they're doing? They're traveling to Alaska, giving away something for free, and no matter what the stories are, no matter what the reasoning, he says he's going there for Ukraine to solve. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, sure, that's why. Sure, that is why. You know, all for all the wrong reasons, or saying it. I mean, can you even believe this guy anymore? I don't actually think so. So I don't think a sane person would believe him, to be honest with you. But let's dig in the crates real quick and see what we can come up with.
Supposed to be the week when Trump was supposed to deliver on his big ultimatum for Vladimir Putin: end the war in Ukraine or else face new crippling economic sanctions. That was the ultimatum. What Trump did instead, though, is bow completely to Putin. Today, Trump announced that he would be meeting with the Russian president face-to-face next Friday in Alaska on U.S. soil, an added bonus for the Russians. But wait, there's more. Earlier today, when asked whether Ukraine, who was invaded by Russia 3.5 years ago and has been defending itself ever since, would have to give up its...
I'm going to tell you, Trump is doing a very poor defense of the United States of America. The United States of America is weaker than it has been in 100 years. It's weaker than it's been in 100 years. And, this guy is basically showing it. He's showing pure, utter weakness, pure, utter capitulation, to Putin. He is Putin's biatch, totally. And that's ironic for a misogynistic guy like Trump. I mean, for him to be a biatch to Putin, I mean, but it does make sense, right? Because I never really looked up to misogynistic men as being tough and rough or anything like that. Anyway, I always looked at him as being weak, and Trump is like the proof of that. You couldn't get better proof of that. How these macho men, really deep inside in the heart and in the soul, are some weak asses.
Its territory. Trump gave this little clue about what a peace deal could entail.
We're going to get some switched.
No, he's owned by Netanyahu and Putin. Are you out of your mind? Don't get so caught up in Netanyahu that you can't see the Putin's part. Come on, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. You can be blackmailed by more than one. Okay. Just because you out to get, Israel or whatever doesn't mean you have to ignore, Putin either. You can deal with both of them properly, right? Can't you do that? You can chew bubble gum and walk. Come on now. Let's get to this.
There'll be some swapping of territories to the betterment of both.
The betterment of both. Way to turn the phrase. This is Ukraine.
He sounds so weak. He sounds so weak. To the betterment of both. Who the fuck asked you, Trump? Why don't you just stay the fuck out of it at this point? I mean, Trump is like, he sounds so weak. It will be good, much better for the betterment of both. Like, dude, you're weak, man. How could that be for anybody? No one wants you. No one wants Trump. No one wants Trump. The only person that wants Trump is Putin, because at least he gets to walk him around like a biatch. At least he gets that part of it. I mean, hey.
Territory. I'm not sure what he means the betterment of.
I mean, Putin gets something out of this meeting, for sure.
Now, make no mistake, that was the president of the United States capitulating to Russia in advance of a meeting with Putin. So today was.
Hold on. Who said? Mr. PMR said you can't chew bubble gum and walk.
Kind of a big win for Russia, which is why one could imagine that in the Kremlin tonight, it's vodka shots all around, perhaps. Joining me now is former U.S. Ambassador to Russia under President Obama, Michael McFaul, who I should add speaks regularly with Ukraine's President Zelensky and knows a whole lot about these issues, as you all know. Ambassador McFaul, I mean, I just gave my.
Did you see how weak is? Did you see how weak that sounded? It's going to be for the betterment of all. Oh my God. Why don't he just say, if you don't do it, I'm out of here. Stop this. I'm tired of it. So why don't he say, if you don't do this, I'm going to do this to you. He doesn't do any of that because you know what? He knows both Russia and Ukraine would say, get the fuck out of here.
My short take on this meeting, but what do you think?
Jen, that was a pretty good take. That's exactly what I think. This is an extraordinary gift to Putin, just like you said. As you remember, when we worked together at the White House, anytime a foreign leader meets with the President of the United States, that's a gift.
An embarrassment.
It is a total gift. Let's see something.
Regardless of any sort of a truce or agreement that could be potentially struck.
Well, and I just wonder, Vaughn, amidst all this, as you're sitting here talking, how hard of a line
and it is embarrassment
the president is willing to draw when it comes to his, friend, Russian President Vladimir Putin. He speaks. Right. He speaks in a way in which he is willing to go all the way, but his actions oftentimes.
Yeah, and you know what? See, this is the thing. Right now, they're talking about the Epstein files, right? Robo AU, they talking about the Epstein files, right? But it's highly likely that Putin has the Putin Trump files, some whole other files with some little girls. That's very likely. That's very likely. I mean, think about it. Trump spent all that time in Russia. What do you think he was doing there? If he was doing all of that shit already in Florida, you know what I mean, and in New York, then what the hell you think he was doing in Russia? That's what I'm saying. He likely has the Epstein files, but I doubt very seriously he even needs those because that was Trump's stomping ground. That's where he had one of his biggest pageants at. You know what I mean? That might have even been one of the places he was walking around in the background talking to, one of the places. In any case, Trump. So you could put two and two together. I mean, if he could do it in New York and he could do it in Florida, then why can't he do it in Russia of all places? That should be very easy to do.
Time to speak louder than his words, and we have not seen him go there.
Right, and this is where we actually heard over the last 2-3 weeks a actually frustrated or angry, seemingly, President Trump when it came to Vladimir Putin. And
now listen to this, y'all. The pathology of Trump. Trump always comes off like that, like he's angry, he's this and that, he's going to put this as the deadline, it's going to be this, and then he capitulates. He takes people through this, but you know what? He can only take a goddamn fool through this because I don't even listen to his fucking. It is obvious. People don't have to guess what he's going to do anymore. It is obvious. Putin is blackmailing him, extorting him. It is obvious. It is obvious. If you listen to Trump, and what he's going to do about Putin, or what he's going to do about Netanyahu, or what he's going to do even about Ukraine, or what he's doing about Epstein, you are dumb, because he's going to do the opposite of what he says every single time. And why do you think that is?
And he, just 1 week ago, said that he ordered the deployment of 2 nuclear submarines into the region after he went...
You see how far this lunatic did? He moved those submarines in just to distract people from the obvious. We know you moved the submarines in. And what? And so what? So what? What happened to that story? That story just disappeared all of a sudden. You moved them in, and so what? Why the hell would we have to move in submarines? Dude, there's already goddamn submarines there. What are you talking about? What the hell? What is this? This is some phony bullshit. Like, flat out. He tell people anything over the mic. Trump, straight up.
In an exchange, along with Lindsey Graham, with the number 2 of the Russian Security Council, the former president, Medvedev. This was a moment here for this administration where you could see that patience actually seemed to be running thin. And the president also last month, he approved the selling of U.S. military equipment through NATO allies to Ukraine. There was just a 180 from where his administration was earlier this year, back in February, in that Oval Office, back and forth with Zelensky, effectively almost pushing him to accept whatever terms of an agreement the U.S. came forward with. But the president had suggested that he would go and have, quote, nice conversations with Putin, and he believed that the war would be coming to an end. But then in the president's telling, that night there would be hundreds of missiles that would continue to fly into Ukraine. So just how long of a leash does Putin have? It seemed like it was tight.
Oh man,
but then
you want to know? You want to know how long of a leash Putin has? His leash, the leash that Trump have on Putin is so long. Putin is basically going to screw him. It's that long enough to make sure you definitely are going to be screwed, Trump, badly, like screwed, fucked over, completely. That's how long. There's nothing short of that. Nothing short of that. This man is going to be finished one way or the other. Period. It's just a matter of how bad, how many people he hurts first. But it doesn't matter how many people he hurts first. That dirty shit is coming out. It will come out one way or the other. And he's squirming, trying to fight it like, dude, this shit's coming out one way or the other. One way or the other.
Hey, clearly Putin's got one more week and at least a face-to-face meeting in Alaska with the sitting president of the United States.
You can't help but wonder who's playing who. Vaughn Hill.
Jake Robson. Exactly. Thank you. He has no cards to play. I mean, this dude is like, he's over with. But we always knew this, though. This is not even news, damn near, right? I mean, it's just that this is what's in the news cycle, so it has to be covered. One of the many distractions, he's going to meet Putin in Alaska. By the way, interesting fact: the Russians were in Alaska, and they had interactions with Native Americans in Alaska. And then in history, this is real history, and then they turned on them and committed genocide. In America. So don't ever forget that, but that happened in Alaska. Today, that's it's America, obviously, but a lot of people don't know that fact. That's just a little short fact, but Google it. But next, it's more serious inside. This international shit, we know Trump doesn't have a goddamn thing going on with that. Trump is the flunky of the world on the international stage. He is a sucker, the biggest sucker of all time, and this is the crazy part about it. You know how this bully thing works. Trump can push around Americans all he wants, damn near, but he ain't pushing nobody else around, buddy. Everyone else is looking like, what the fuck? We ain't putting up with you, dude. Fuck you. That's what everyone else in the world is saying about Trump. That of course he's the executive officer of the most powerful military on earth right now. So other leaders have to keep that in mind. People keep that in mind, but yo, the real power is in commanding respect from people. And he gets none. None. It's all phony. It's all phony. And what can I get from you, dumbass, today? That's what it is when people when dignitaries deal with Trump. That's all it is. It's like, get this motherfucker out of here. Make a deal quick and get his ass out of here on his way. Like, goddamn, let him go talk in the news somewhere while that's really what happens with Trump. But inside the country, it's not a joke. Inside of the U.S., it is not a joke at all. And things are getting heated up. And again, I'm just curious about this. I mean, isn't this also like an act of war?
Governor Abbott's filing in the Texas Supreme Court. And our response is based.
These are the representatives from Texas. And we starting off with Brian Cohen's his little tidbit on this, big up to Brian Cohen. Check this out.
Like, you are stupid. You filed this in the wrong court. You're not the right person to file it, and you filed it in the wrong way. Literally everything that the law requires, they failed to do. And
you're talking about Governor Abbott, how they filed these charges of they're saying they're looking, first of all, they're going to try to expel some of the representatives, all the shit that he's doing. It almost looks like bluff, even though as blatant as it is, it's totally disrespectful and wrong to take citizens and residents through all of this shit. It is totally wrong what he's doing. But how he's filing the paperwork is even more pathetic. Check it.
And this is bizarre because this is Greg Abbott. I mean, he's a licensed attorney. Before he was governor, he was the attorney general. Before he was attorney general, he was a Supreme Court justice. He was an appellate court judge. He was a district court judge. Like, this is like black letter, first year law school kind of information.
Bunch of legal volleys being thrown at you from the Speaker of the Texas State House, from the Governor, Greg Abbott, from John Cornyn, from Ken Paxton. Your background is actually as a former prosecutor in Harris County, so you've pushed back. This is the first instance of one of these Texas Democrats pushing back against these legal maneuvers. Can you explain what you just did in court?
So we've filed a response to Governor Abbott's filing in the Texas Supreme Court. And our response is basically like, you are stupid. You filed this in the wrong court.
So you heard that for the record. Yeah, that's what's going on there, but it's not over.
Yourself against House Bill 4, is that correct?
That's correct.
Please give us your testimony.
Hey, everybody. My name is Ryan Davenport. Quick recap, former field director for the Republican Party of Texas, staffer for Dan Patrick on the Education Committee.
Republican about to rip Republicans in Texas.
Committee in the 83rd, two-time elected member of the Texas delegation of the National Convention. I joined you in Arlington when there were no maps on Monday, and now here 4 days later, and 268,000 square miles of Texas has been redistricted almost overnight. And I want to commend the very honest Republican members of this committee on their ability to redistrict 186 square miles of Texas per minute between Monday and Wednesday. I have to reiterate my opposition to this effort. Donald Trump is demanding additional congressional seats so he doesn't have to pay the natural consequences of his assault on free trade, free markets, democratic institutions, his departure from ethical leadership. You are positioned to be his enablers. Not only is he keeping minority voters from having fair representation, but he's systematically removing them, even saying he'd be open to deporting United States citizens and naturalized citizens. Don't you see what is happening? He's reducing the voting population to ensure he can continue his reign of tangerine tyranny. When I was a Republican, it meant protecting unalienable rights, the Constitution, our liberties. We understood that any power you gave a good government today could be used, abused, and weaponized by a bad government tomorrow. And so we reserved those powers for states and the people. There was respect for the proper role of government. What you're doing will create a runaway government hell-bent on imposing an incoherent political dogma on our country. What you are proving is that there is no bounds to the power that you will steal. Individuals who believe in individual.
Now, how do you feel? Do you all feel that gerrymandering, right? Do you feel like gerrymandering is the final straw? Is like the last straw for you? I mean, I'm talking to Americans out there on this one. I know it's a lot of people from a lot of spots, but Americans, do you feel like gerrymandering is the last straw? I mean, by any side, Republican or Democrat. Personally, I think it's the last straw for, for this bullshit with Republicans. I think Democrats, it's on right now. They got to take a stand, period. And people that want their voting rights, they have to take a stand or they're going to lose them. Very simple. And when you lose your voting rights in the United States, you basically are losing everything. You're losing your citizenry, essentially. So that's the whole point of being a citizen. That's the whole point of being an American. That's the whole point, having your voice, and this is about taking away voices. So I want to know, if you think this is the last straw, put a 1 in the chat. And if you don't, if you think this is not the last straw, put a 2 in the chat. I want to see what people got to say. Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's the last straw, this gerrymandering. And put a 2 in the chat if you don't. Old driver doesn't think it's the last straw. Damn, that's deep. You like gerrymandering, huh? Or what's that supposed to mean? It's supposed to be like, keep on doing it? Both sides should gerrymander? Jonathan put 3 in it. What the hell? Texas, there you go. I see you, Texas. Tweety 21, Tweety 71. Okay, Antoinette is 1. Derek is 1. Last straw was 10 years ago. I hear you, old driver. There's no last straw for Mac. Well, I tell you what, it's the last goddamn straw for me. Like, you gerrymander me, I'm going to gerrymander you. I'm also going to do something else to you too. I'm going to flatten your tire. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get dirty. It's going to get dirty. Like, hey, people can't just stand around here and put up with the shit. By the way, where's the Supreme Court? Where's the military? See, this is the thing. There's this idea that the military is not supposed to get involved in civil issues, in civilians. Yo, what is this? So you trying to tell me that someone can just come and take away people's goddamn rights? You can just break the law? That's what you're saying? Hold on. Are you saying that your president can be blackmailed? I'm curious. That's a question I would like to have for the military. What do you do to defend your country when your president is being blackmailed and extorted? I would like to know that.
Liberty and small government. They respect the rights of every American, whether they're black, Hispanic, white, Asian, gay, straight, trans, Christian, Muslim, or Jewish. We can't vote for Republicans anymore because you will abuse every ounce of power that you are given. And the only option that we have left is to join the Democrats to safeguard the ultimate experiment of.
This guy is a Republican saying this on the Texas House floor. This is a Republican saying this to his Republican colleagues.
Representative government with checks and balances.
All right, so let's go on. Come on.
Wow, they say everything's bigger in Texas. Oh, look at that guy's gavel. Look at my little gavel. Look, this is sweet. That's the biggest gavel I've ever seen. Don't quote me. That might be the record for the quickest legislative session. Yeah, see, I love my gavel. It's all I need. But that was a big gavel. That was like a mallet. That was the Texas legislature. That's been going on all week, by the way. They gavel in and they gavel out because they could not achieve a quorum. Joining me now is Jasmine Crockett. She is the Democratic congresswoman from Texas. She was also a Texas state legislator. And you've seen this show before. You've seen what happened.
All maggots do is gaslight. Their answer for everything is Democrats did that before. Democrats did that before. Obama did that before. Kamala did that before. Democrats did that before. Democrats started it. Yo, why don't you all just get off of this bullshit and just go to fucking war? Stop this talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to confuse anybody with that gaslighting. If you think people are going to let you walk all over them just because you say Democrats did that before, you out of your goddamn mind, yo. You are in trouble. You are in trouble. You best understand it. Democrats did that, yo. So what's your answer going to be to Trump being blackmailed? Clinton was blackmailed too. Is that your answer? God damn it! Is that your answer? Somebody, I'm responding to somebody in the chat that's talking about Democrats did that. What the hell? Who is that? What you going to say when somebody's beating up one of your family members? Well, the other guy did that too. It's like, what the fuck? What kind of answer is that? Stand up for your country, man. Stand up for you. Weak. Democrats did that. What the hell? What the? What? People weird, yo. People weird. People weird.
What happens when the majority in the Texas legislature tries to ram something through? You were actually part of the group that sort of set the roadmap for what we are seeing today with these Texas legislators who are out of the state and who have drawn attention to the idea that this is not a Texas problem. This is a everybody problem.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. It is so funny though, watching them with the gavels. It reminds me of like Marjorie.
And you know what? It's not a Republican or Democrat problem. It's a everybody problem. It's not a Democrat problem. It's not a Republican problem. It's a citizen problem. And if you are a citizen and you don't see this as a problem, you should denounce your citizenship. Like right now, today. Some people don't appreciate shit till they lose it.
Session. Yeah, see, I love my gavel. It's all I need. But this is as blatantly partisan, gerrymandering, anti-democratic stuff as you can get, and nobody's hiding it. Literally, Donald Trump rolled up and said, "I need 5 more seats," and I've never seen people fold so fast in my life.
No, it's not just even the fact that it's gerrymandering. I want to be clear. This is racial gerrymandering specifically in the state of Texas. Now, I can't speak about other states, but I can absolutely.
Yo, y'all, take a second and click the like button for me. Yes.
My state that is a majority minority state. And the fact is, when we ultimately did our actual
So now, you see, there was a lot of people that the Trump administration started off talking about this is not racism. This is not racism. We're doing everything else but racism. We're trying to, get rid of the discrimination, right? But you can see now that these things have played out. I'm curious. The minorities that voted for Trump, how do you feel now? The Hispanics that voted for Trump, how do you feel? We know how you feel. You feel horrible. You should, because they're really taking advantage of you and your human rights and your civil rights. Black Americans, African Americans, how do you feel about it? How do you feel? Do you still feel okay with it now that the gerrymandering is there? Most African Americans, by the way, 82, 85, up to 80, something like that, 82 to 85% of African Americans supported Kamala Harris. They did not vote for Trump. But I'm asking the small percentage that did vote for Trump. How do you feel? Are you okay with gerrymandering? Are you okay with Texas having less African American voices in Congress representing the state, or are you okay with that? I'm curious about that. And because obviously there's that little tidbit out there in the internet realm where it's in reality. There's still some black people. I think I even saw a Caribbean American dude that's actually going along with this shit. Watch, just keep going.
2021, when we got the numbers, it said that 95% of the growth was due to people of color. And so therefore, Texas, that was growing leaps and bounds, was entitled.
And by the way, no matter what ethnicity you are, no matter where your family heritage has come from in the past or whatever, if you're American, everybody, big up to everybody that did vote for Kamala Harris, because, that's a big tent, and you don't always get to vote on someone that looks like you or, has your specific background. But we're the type of people that don't mind voting for people regardless of what they look like. We voting for people for what they think like, for their knowledge, right? And for their desires for the country, positive desires for everyone.
Entitled to 2 additional seats. But unfortunately, they didn't feel like minority voices were entitled to have representation, even though they were the reason that they got those seats. So not only did they give us 2 new Anglo seats, and the reason that I say it's not just strictly partisan is because when we got those 2 new seats, they were both Anglo majority seats. One went to a Democrat, one went to a Republican. This is
You know, I'm playing Jasmine because I don't actually play her a lot, but she is on the front line. Like, she's one of the new stars out of the Democratic Party. And I don't want to blow her up superficially. I'm saying she's a star because she knows what the hell she is talking about. She's a hard worker for real in real life. She is bowdy. Like, straight up. I wouldn't big up anybody that wasn't about it 100%. And she is basically taking the fight to them. And think about who is busy picking on her. Some billionaires who cheated their own state. Donald Trump cheated his own state that he comes from, his own home fucking town, of tax dollars. He's a thief from his own goddamn town, and he's bullying just as an average civil servant. Just an average civil servant. It's pathetic. It is pathetic.
racial at this point. And now they're saying, you know what, we want 2 more Anglo majority seats. And so now here it is, you're going to get 4 Anglo new majority seats. And this is just about fairness. It's about making sure that we honor our Constitution, because literally in the 15th Amendment, it is about making sure that all.
Who cares? Somebody wrote there's no such thing as race. No, duh, but there's something called racism. Hello. You need to stay up to date with these kind of terms. Everybody knows there's no such thing as race, but you have terms, right? Still, because you have what is called the perception of it. That means people acting on your skin color, acting on the perception of race. That's called racism, asshole. Get it straight. You know, I think some people really need to get some fucking education, yo.
People have representation, and right now African Americans are only going to have 1/5 of the voting power that they should have in the state of Texas under this map. And we know that our Latino brothers and sisters will only have 1/3 of the voting power. And frankly, Asians, which tend to be one of the fastest growing demographics in the state of Texas, have literally no power.
Did you hear the stuff they're saying about Gene Wu, by the way, talking about Asians, like how he's connected to the Chinese Communist Party? Like, the racism, they're not doing a great.
The Republican Party uses racism. They use racism themselves to distract people, to divide people, so the rich folk can can actually take anything, and it's such a petty strategy. But unfortunately, we have a lot of Americans that haven't gotten to the point where they don't fall for stupid tropes like that, and it almost works every goddamn time. I mean, with the Republican Party, that's their main thing, scapegoating other people. For example, they have this idea. The reason why I say mention this thing about ICE and African Americans or Black Americans is because if you do the data on Black Americans, Black Americans. That means anybody who's Black in the United States. It doesn't matter if you come from Caribbean or whatever, Africa or South America or anywhere, Asia, Europe, because some come from there too and move to the U.S. Right? It doesn't matter. Or if you're African American yourself and your ancestors have been there since the beginning of the country, right? It doesn't matter. 85% of Black Americans, right? That means all the Black people in the United States are African American. 85% of the Black people in the United States can trace their ancestors back to the Civil War. Now, so you looking for immigrants among Black people is ridiculous, because everyone else has way larger groups of immigrants that's looking like them, that their ancestors don't go that far back. It's just ridiculous. It is illogical. It is irrational. It is racist. Okay, it is anti-Black. Not to say that there's not other racism's going on, anti-Hispanic, all types of stuff. Anti-women is going on right now. We're going to get to it. Even misogyny is going on.
Keeping the lid on that pot.
No, I mean, honestly, when Trump came in the first time, they started to lift the hoods.
All right, so we got the gist of this.
Your colleagues. Take us back. They literally want to take us back by disenfranchising black and brown communities. And we say no. No, we say hell no. Not on our watch. We will not allow you to turn back the clock.
Yo, these people that are doing this, if you think African Americans are going to put up with this, you're out of your goddamn minds. You're out of your you're living in delusion land. Completely. Now, I'm gonna say a few things. I'm gonna point out a few things, that if I was someone going around the country bullying people, ripping their kids out of their arms, going around with masks into communities where people don't fucking know you, I would be concerned for my life, actually, because I've noticed some things. And it's real talk, but let's continue.
Center in LA for 2.5 weeks. Of course you haven't, because it's suppressed as fuck. Hashtags are getting removed, videos are getting removed, lives are getting banned, accounts are getting banned. My account was banned yesterday after going viral twice talking about LA. We have had over 30 communities of LA Music Festival party goers that have been standing up to ice sculptures. In Compton, we had a group of Black kings that jumped an ice sculpture, and let's just say it wasn't a recognizable one after that. In Bell Gardens, there was a community of music festival goers that quickly came together and chased out an ice sculpture. And then in LA, we had a festival goer that went up to an ice sculpture and squirted it.
Facts, Floyo, facts.
It with its super soaker. In fact, people from all fucking backgrounds are coming together. I've even seen people with keffiyehs on at the everybody's standing in solidarity and standing against these ice sculptures. California, specifically LA, are fucking standing up to these ice sculptures alone, and the rest of the world doesn't fucking know it, and it's by design. So yesterday in my video, people did tell me from other cities and states that they've been doing similar things. There's Portland, Oregon, and then there's New York. So I want to know, are there any other cities and states that are having music festivals like this or anything similar? And girl, let's talk.
Parking lot of our. I just want to say this. If you're listening and you're from any part of the world where these people, these sculptures, these ice sculptures are roaming around, kidnapping people, and you're standing up against them, you got my respect. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, because you're actually fighting for your country. You're fighting for your human and civil rights. You are. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Because these people, if you just let them do anything, it's only going to get worse later. It's only going to get worse. Now, I said I wanted to point some things out, and it's going to get real. What I'm saying is this uniform right here is a death trap. You go into the wrong community wearing this shit, you're going to leave with no legs. Okay, you're going to leave with no legs. This shit is susceptible to a bow and arrow. This shit is susceptible to fire, flammable fumes. This shit is susceptible to a lot of stuff. And not even talking about the shoes. Like really. Like I'm telling you. So some places they are not going to go. Period. But I feel my heart goes out to the places that they do go, these kind of certain kind of areas where they feel safe walking into, because they're really taking advantage of people that way. But in a real situation where there's some people who really have decided that you're not going to take one more person, you better come with more than this on. I'm just saying that, like, for real. You are just, do you see how they show up in your town and they just stand there with their guns and shit like nobody can see them? They just feel comfortable. Okay.
Of our
You need to stop right there.
You need to stop kidnapping people off the street. It's scary. It is scary to see. I was passing Home Depot. I saw what appeared to be two men tied up, with ICE agents. Stop! You guys are kidnapping people.
That's what I'm saying. Look at this. They're wearing these casual clothes. You see this? They just casually walking up. Yo, I'm telling you, you mess with the wrong Americans, you're going to definitely pay the price. Definitely pay the price. So I hope you ICE people roaming around and harassing people, I hope you don't get your, start thinking all Americans are putting up with this shit, because you will be out of your goddamn minds. We are scared of you, motherfuckers. You are terrorizing people. We got the message.
What the street? I walked up to the agents and asked what they were doing, if they were.
They ain't doing nothing but waking people up. They're not doing anything but waking people up. So an impending threat, that's all they doing. Just terrorize. Is that what they wanted to do? Terrorize people enough for them to know that, okay, well, we have to take these motherfuckers like the KKK. We have to take them like the Nazi party. Is that must be what they want people to do. People have been in this country since the beginning from many backgrounds. Native Americans, African descent, Latinos, Europeans, different religions, Jewish, Muslims, since the beginning. Maybe many of them were cryptos under the Christian empires when they first came, but they came out after a while. You see what I mean? But many people have also fought for each other's rights in this country. People have stood up for each other in different times and stood together in different times. So if you make the American people feel like they must fight because you take them for weakness, okay.
We're just arresting workers. I was told that other people's criminal history is not my business. When masked, armed, unidentified gunmen are standing in the parking lot of our local shopping centers, this is not how we lawfully and ethically enforce our laws. I won't be silenced. I will continue to speak up. We all need to continue to speak up.
Look at the clothes. Look at the clothes. Tennis shoes, jeans. Okay.
Homeland Security cosplay Kristi Noem here. And the latest South Park episode, didn't see it. But if I did see...
I mean, this is how we look at you. See, a lot of these people, they like to spew hate. They like to spew hate at everybody else. But beware of the hate that hate bred. Beware of that. Because what these people are doing is they are about to bring out some hatred that they have never experienced before by going around threatening people. That's what they're actually about to do. Anybody can learn how to hate, goddammit. Anyone can learn how to hate. And you push people's buttons the wrong way, especially, and this is more than pushing people's buttons. Yeah, okay.
See it? I would say it never ends. It's just lazy and it's petty to go after somebody's looks. Only liberals and extremists do that. You would never catch a Republican or the President of the United States mocking somebody's appearance, would you? All right, well, anyways, I didn't see it because I'm too busy racially profiling people for my Homeland Security job.
Exactamundo. And that's all they're
what
going
they
to
thought
continue
they
to
were going to
do.
be voting for. Those signs said mass deportation. Mass deportation means
You know,
under a strict interpretation of the Bible. CNN's Pamela Brown went to
so they have this plan, and they're just showing people, this walk-up strategy. It's like dipping your toe in the water to see if it's cold or warm. And as long as you dip your toe in the water and it's just warm, then you just inch forward again to the next spot. They're doing a temperature test essentially by harassing people like this, just to see, how far they can go before they want to, distract people again with some other new thing. So meanwhile, while this is going, they're going around harassing people, doing the temperature check, right? Being very careful. They're not being careful in the sense that they don't want to hurt helpless people. Not in that way. No, they're not being careful that way. They're raveling in hurting helpless people, right? But they're being very careful about certain types, and they seem to me, if you just ask me, they seem to want to project toughness by harassing weak people, helpless people, but it's coming off to real Americans that believe in their gun rights like, no, you guys are fucking weak, because we're used to guns. We're actually used to guns. We grow up with guns. We grow up with the preaching about our gun rights, our gun rights, our gun rights. We grow up with that. So showing up with some guns is not really, around weak, defenseless people with no guns. That might work. But strong people with no guns, that shit don't work. You saw how these Haitians manhandled ICE. The bottom line is, you show up to the wrong place, you're not just only going to get manhandled, you could die, and but now while they do that, now they want to also inch in this Christian right, which is not Christian at all. This is phony, just stupid stuff racism that they mask as Christianity to try to make an excuse for it. It's not fucking Christianity. It's extremism. It's idiots. It's Nazism. Has nothing to do with any Christians. No religion at all. It's got nothing to do with it.
Idaho, to meet the controversial pastor behind it.
This is like the Christian version of, what they say Iran is. They say Iran are some fanatics, they're Muslim fanatics, but these people have the same ideology as as the people they call fanatics. It's crazy.
Christchurch senior pastor Doug Wilson makes no apologies for his beliefs on God and country.
I'd like to see the town be a Christian town. I'd like to see the state be a Christian state. I'd like to see the nation be a Christian nation. I'd like to see the world be a Christian world.
And now Wilson's controversial views as a Christian nationalist are gaining sway in the nation's center of power, with the recent opening of his new church and high-profile parishioners like Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Is planting a church in D.C.?
It's just another form of gaslighting. Show up as some Christians and then you exterminate everybody. You know what I'm saying? You lock the women up in the house, throw chains on them, tell them they can't go to work, tell them they can't get an education. These people are the American Taliban, basically.
Part of your mission to try to turn this into a Christian nation?
Yes. So every society is theocratic. The only question is, who's Theo?
Anybody want to guess who they're raping and pillaging at nighttime? Their own people.
In a secular democracy, it would be demos, the people. In a Christian republic, it'd be Christ.
Well, what would you say to someone watching this and say, look, I'm a Muslim?
He's like, in a Christian republic, it would be Christ. Damn, dude, you sounded exactly like the Ayatollah.
Muslim. Who are you to say your worldview is better than mine, that your God is better than mine?
Well, if I went to Saudi Arabia, I would fully expect to live under
And in Israel, it would be Moses, right?
their God's rules.
But you said earlier that you want this to be a Christian world.
Yes.
You know, this dude thinks he's a goddamn American. Has he even read the damn Constitution? I mean, what does he even know about the founding fathers, the U.S.? He doesn't realize that they already figured out religion is too much division. You can't build a state with all of that division. So just, hey, instead of fight about your religion, let's come together about something else. You know, this dude they really talking about going back to 1700s and shit, even before the U.S. This is like British rule that he's talking about.
So you want to supplant their religion with your Christian?
Yes, by peaceful means, by sharing the gospel. There's a lot of work yet to do. I believe that we are working our little corner of the vineyard.
Wilson's Little Corner, a picturesque campus nestled on the outskirts of downtown Moscow, Idaho, is growing by the day.
Did they just say downtown Moscow, Idaho? That explains a lot. And we got to talk about that, because how did that town get named Moscow? And when did that happen? I'm gonna look that up.
With thousands of like-minded Christians. Parishioners of his church, known as Kirkers, own and operate several businesses downtown, next to liberal college town stores.
I take it that these people, they don't want to have a sit down with the Pope right about now.
If it's true,
Why did he yell boo? It's because it's
because of me.
because of you.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's a regular day for you.
That's
What you think he's putting inside of that belly right there? And, you know, I don't know. All kinds of stuff is going. I see patheticness, weakness. I see a fat old man trying to tell other people what to do, and starting with the people around him, like the women first. You know what I mean? Like, this is just weak, man.
not unusual.
A big focus of his Christian movement is on a patriarchal society where men are dominant and women are expected to submit to their husbands.
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
So you just think
This is Pete Hegseth's pastor, damn near. This is Pete Hegseth's spiritual leader, straight up, yo.
they're meant to have babies. That's it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother.
He said it doesn't really take talent to reproduce biologically. But the problem is that he's talking about the women. He ain't even talking about his own dang-a-lang.
Chief executive of the home is entrusted with 3 or 4 or 5 eternal souls.
I'm here as a working journalist, and I'm a mom of
This, oh my God. Like, I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue
No.
for you?
No, it's not automatically an issue.
Josh and Amy Prince, along with their 4 kids, moved here from Washington State.
Do you see Amy as your equal?
Yes and no, in the sense that
Hey, how many women is down with this program? If you're a woman, put a 1 in the chat if you're down with this program, and put an X in the chat if you're not. No, just put fire. Yeah, because we're going to burn these motherfuckers today. If you're a woman and you're not down with the program, put a fire, put a flame in the chat. Let me see the flames. Actually, everybody, if you ain't down with this shit, let me see the flames. Because this is really bonkers. But this is Pete Hegseth's spiritual leader. This is the head of the Pentagon spiritual goddamn leader. This dude don't believe in women having rights, yo. This is crazy. And the reason why I say flames is because sometimes it's easier to just burn these motherfuckers up, for real. Like, no, I'm just joking. But I mean, really, do you have to put up with this shit in 2025? In 2025, they want to come to people's towns with this shit? Like, what is this? What is this? I mean, damn. Like, this is disgusting. But yet, this is the news for America. This is Trump's boy. Trump's Pentagon leader. This is his spiritual leader. This is Pete Hegseth's spiritual leader talking. This is sick. So we can't just sit down for this. We can't let these people run us. They will run. We'll be walking around. The whole country will be moving shit around on horse and buggy when they're done with it. They will set back the country 100 goddamn years, literally. Listen to these brains.
We're both saved by grace. We're absolutely on equal footing.
Hold on. Let me play. He got asked a good question. Hold on. Oh my God. He got asked a good question. Are women and men equal? Hold on. Check this out.
And its aim is global Christian domination. Secretary Pete Hegseth attended the first service. The church is part of the Communion of Reformed Evangelical Churches, and its aim is global Christian domination.
Do you see Amy as your equal?
Yes and no, in the sense that we're both.
You hear that, Amy? Yes and no. You ain't his equal, Amy. You ain't his equal. It's a yes and a no for you. You know what I'm saying? Imagine going to the store and, somebody asks you, hey, can I help you? You sitting at the table, waiting to order dinner and shit, and they're like, can I help you? And you're like, yes and no. What the hell? This dude talking. What if his wife asked him that? Do you respect me? Yes and no.
We're both saved by grace. We're absolutely on equal footing. But we have very different purposes. God given.
And she's still with his ass. This is what you call a slave woman.
Given.
Modern times. Slave masters had women like this back then. Back then.
But do you see yourself as the head of the household, as the man?
He is the head of our household. Yes, and I do submit to him.
So moving
here of our household.
Yes,
and I do submit to him.
So moving here.
This is just utter abuse. This is just utter abuse, out on Front Street. I mean, this is what MAGA got for us.
Jackie Robinson.
So they say they're not racist, but then they have to go after Jackie Robinson, right? They have to go after the black guy. What did Jackie Robinson do? You know what I'm saying? All he did was take life in a positive way. He played for the quote unquote Negro League. The other league picked him up. He played for the other league that wanted to move on. He broke records. He served the military. And what did they do? Just to, like I told you, dip their toe in the water to see if it's how cold it is or how warm it is. It's a temperature test. And don't you think that African Americans don't see that, MAGA? Trump, we see that. Hegseth, we see that. That's a temperature test, But one thing you need to know is that we will get crazy. We will get crazy if you dare try to rip us from our goddamn land where our ancestors slaved in it for centuries just so your bitch ass could walk around here with your chest out. Just remember that. Just remember that no African American have to sit here and play any goddamn games with any MAGA people with these crazy ass ideologies, fucking around with people's tax dollars, being asinine, wasting everyone's life just because you need to stick your chest out to feel like a man. You need to put other people down just to feel like a man. It ain't going to work.
Displayed a, quote, page not found error message. Jackie Robinson served in the U.S. Army during World War II before he went on to become a baseball legend, breaking the color barrier of Major League Baseball in 1947. The URL of Jackie Robinson's page was updated to include DEI before the story's headline, indicating that it was likely taken down as part of the Trump administration's and Pete Hegseth's purge of everything and anything related to diversity, equity, and inclusion now, yesterday, or all these years ago. Jeff Passan, a baseball columnist for ESPN, noticed that the website had been removed and posted this, quote, "The ghouls who did this should be ashamed. Jackie Robinson was the embodiment of an American hero. Fix this now." Now, that edict and the outcry from Passan and others had its intended effect, we are happy to say. Late today, Jackie Robinson's
It was restored.
The veteran himself
So you see that? The temperature test failed. The temperature test failed. And that temperature test is going to fail each and every goddamn time. It's going to fail each and every goddamn time. African Americans, 85% of us voted for Kamala Harris. We don't give a fuck what you think about it. Our ancestors toiled in this. 85% of black Americans can trace their ancestry back to the Civil War. Do you think we don't know that? You think this little mirage of these fake flags walking around and sticking your chest out, you think that's confusing us or something about what time of day it is? No, you're the only people that are fucking confused. And reality is going to come and hit you. It's coming. It don't even have to be from us, but it's going to hit you. And if it ain't from nobody else, it is going to be from us. It's going to hit you. It's going to hit you one way or the other.
About his view that women shouldn't be in certain leadership or combat roles.
Looking at the leadership page for Christ Church, it's all men. Do you accept women in leadership roles in the church and in government?
In the church, no.
Why?
Because the Bible says not to.
Well, that's not what happens in the Bible. Women do.
Look, who are you talking about? Somebody in the chat wrote, "We'll see, brother. You're a joke." Okay, so what about this nut up here on the screen talking about women, who said, is your woman equal to you? Yes and no. What do you think about that? Is that dude a joke? Or you that's how you treat your woman, Freedman 45? You treat your woman like a hoe? Like a slave? Yeah, I know you do, but that's your woman. Don't ever get it twisted over here.
All the time.
Progressive faith leader Reverend Jennifer Butler is concerned.
You MAGA people, women, your wives just say, "I submit to you." What the hell?
Growing influence.
He is rapidly gaining in power. He has hundreds of churches established around the country. They actually literally want to take over towns and cities, and they have access to this administration.
Wilson is part of a broader Christian nationalist movement making inroads with the Trump administration, with a newly created faith office led by evangelical pastor Paula White Cain, and people seen right outside the White House entrance.
Trump, the pedophile, is their leader. I mean, this is amazing. Right-wing Christian nationalism with pedophiles makes a whole lot of sense, don't it? Yeah, it does. It makes a whole lot of sense because this is all it ever amounts to any goddamn way. It's always like that. Anybody ever seen the movie American X? It's a movie, but it's not just a movie. Nazi guy was tired of the blacks, I think, in his town. He got a little upset about that. Accidentally killed one. I don't know if it was an accident or if it was on purpose, maybe. But the black dude died in an altercation. He hit his head on a curb, and so the Nazi guy goes to jail, and he was really popular in his neighborhood, in his town. He had all the Nazi kids fascinated with him, and then when he went to jail, he met the Aryan Nation. And what did the Aryan Nation do? They pumped him in the butt. That's what they did. That's what they did. That's what the white folk in the prison did to him. And then he had to come out. He came out of prison. And he told all of those people that he was teaching to drop that shit, leave it alone, stop being a racist. And people thought something was wrong with him, but he couldn't tell anybody what had happened. See, it's always like that. It's always like that. These bigots, it's always themselves fucking themselves, like straight up.
Praying and speaking in tongues. We are standing on.
And guess who knows that? African Americans know it. We know it. We know your history in the country.
The soil of the White House.
We know who you are better than you know yourself. That's what it's like when 85% of you can trace your ancestry back to the Civil War. We know you better than you know yourself. Don't ever forget that.
Declaring your word.
How precious.
And now there's a monthly prayer service at the Pentagon, initiated by Hegseth. Wilson's highest level
Look at this
connection to
shit.
the administration.
It's not organizationally tied
Hold
to
on.
us.
I have to hear that again.
But
What the
it's,
hell?
the kind of
Dude
thing we
singing
love
out
to
here?
see.
For his
That
part,
is
Hegseth has
embarrassing.
publicly praised Wilson.
Now we're standing
By Hegseth. Wilson, there's a monthly prayer service at the Pentagon initiated by Hegseth. Wilson's highest level connection to the Pentagon initiated by Hegseth. Clearing your word.
This dude is a goddamn drunk and womanizer leading the prayer. What the hell? What the fuck?
And now there's a monthly prayer service at the Pentagon initiated by Hegseth. Wilson's highest level connection to the administration.
It's not organizationally tied to us, but it's the kind of thing we love to see.
For his part, Hegseth has publicly praised Wilson.
now we're standing on the shoulders of a generation later, the Doug Wilsons and the others.
Wilson's influence spans the globe with more than 100.
That's code word for he's a pedophile like me. He's an alcoholic like me. He's a womanizer like me. That's what that code word. We're standing on the shoulders of blah, blah, blah.
150 churches.
Yeah, we know.
Lennox Califungua moved to Moscow.
Now listen, this is the oxymoronic shit about them. Somebody named Lennox Califungua, I think, obviously not African American. Not that that's a problem for me. Sounds like an immigrant. Not a problem for me either. But it's a problem for MAGA. And this dude, this is where they get oxymoronic because they go out there and have immigrants, you know what I'm saying, in their program and shit. Look, Elon Musk, immigrant. Who are they capping for? Who are they protecting? The queen of the pedophiles, Ghislaine Maxwell, immigrant. And now they have a black dude up there about to defend this shit. Look at this.
Let's go from Africa.
It's really because I wanted to be a part of a community that was doing something, and especially in building Christian institutions.
Are there other black families in this community?
Oh, absolutely. There's a few black families.
Wilson maintains
They're about to deport his ass tomorrow. They're going to be like, what? Who was that? I didn't even know he was in a... Really? What's his address? Let's go get his ass.
all are welcome to his church, but he's also not shying away from his past controversial statements on race.
Do you still believe what you said back in the 90s, that there's a mutual affection between
Oh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Listen to this crazy shit, y'all.
master and slave?
Yes, it depends on which. Yes, it depends on the.
Do you still believe what you said back in the 90s, that there's a mutual affection between master and slave?
Yes, it depends.
Man, this guy, you know what? They're mutual. Oh my God. That's what Nat Turner was all about. The mutual connection between master and slave. You never seen the Nat Turner movie.
There's a mutual affection between master and slave.
Yes, it depends on which master and which slave you're talking about. Slavery was overseen and conducted by fallen human beings, and there were horrendous abuses, and there were also people. Slavery was
There's a mutual affection between 90s, that there's a mutual affection between master and slave.
Yes, it depends on
How many of y'all believe there's a mutual affection between master and slave? Put a 1 in the chat if you think there was a mutual connection between master and slave. Especially you, Friedman. You better speak up. Do you think there was a mutual connection mutual affection, between master and slave? Friedman or Freedom 45, fake ass name. Your name should be Slavery 55, but yeah. What do y'all think? Mutual. What the hell? I can't even say mutual affection. Mutual affection between master and slave. What the? See, this is why they're gonna die. You know, because of saying this kind of stuff, it definitely means someone has to, make sure you go to your grave first. When you start talking like this, there's a mutual affection between master and slave. What the fuck? God damn. Come on, proud Americans. Let me see where your heart is really at. You maggots say you're not goddamn bigots. Was there a mutual affection between master and slave, maggots? Let me hear you. Come on, let's hear your voice. Let's hear your voice, maggots. You say you're not bigots, right? Was there a mutual affection between master and slave? Please tell us. Do you agree with this? Do you, whatever the hell this is? This is a really pathetic person. Freedom he doesn't seem to, want to answer. Okay, Freedom 45, keep your mouth shut then. You don't answer. Who thinks that there was a mutual affection between master and slave? Anybody? Maggots, can you tell me? See, this is where the maggots get silent, because they know a gun is going to come out of nowhere if they say that, and boom, in reality. So, they get quiet on that one.
On which master and which slave you're talking about. Slavery was overseen and conducted by fallen human beings, and there were horrendous abuse.
Is that what you call them? Fallen human beings? Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, this is the slave master's descendants' story. It sounds like to me, he's having a hard time saying what it actually was, goddamn. And by the way, no wonder they're about to let Ghislaine Maxwell out of prison. I mean, if you ask him, he would have said, why is she even locked up? It's okay to have sex with little girls. That's what this guy would probably say. Okay, how many of you think he sleeps with minors himself? How many of y'all think that? Put a 1 in the chat if you think this guy does. Put a 1 in the chat if you think this Christian national sleeps with minors. Kelly Thomas, me too. I think you do. I'm going to take a guess. Yeah, I'm going to take a guess. Fuck it, I mean, it seems like a pattern. That's all I'm saying. I mean, some people know them better than they know themselves. God damn, this is like, and this is also boring because we've heard this all before, right? This is America. You know what I'm saying? We've heard this bullshit all before. It's like, come on, this is no surprise. I would be surprised if he didn't end the interview saying that and shit.
And there were also people who owned slaves who were decent human beings and didn't.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Anyway, yeah, next. God damn, he had to take it there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had to finish that thing. That was his real point. He just wanted to justify slavery and shit. It was some people that was good. How the fuck do you know? How the hell do you know? You know what I'm saying? What his granddaddy told him that, son? What the hell?
Announcing he'll hold a press event at the White House Monday to address violent crime in the nation's capital. Both Trump and Vice President Vance in recent days.
Here we go again. Crime's down. Let's go investigate it. Backwards logic again. You know what I'm saying? Where's the crime? ICE is not going where the crime is. No, ICE doesn't want to deal with the criminals because the criminal in Georgia the other day went to another guy's job, an elected official's job, a local elected official's job, both of them white men. White man who was a criminal went there, threw a bucket of gas on him and lit it. Where was ICE? ICE was nowhere there. And then I got to thinking, damn, what if somebody did that to an ICE officer? Like, is that something they prepared for? Are they prepared for a crazy ass white man in Georgia? Is ICE prepared for that? That's what I was thinking. But again, ICE is nowhere to be found when these type of people are around. They're not. They're going where people are minding their goddamn business and trying to pick some fruit or something. Like, trying to just go to fucking work. That's where ICE is.
Claiming crime is rampant, despite the Metropolitan Police Department reporting a 26% drop in violent crime since this time last year. Joining us now for more is Rob D'Amico, former member of the FBI's hostage rescue team and MSNBC national security and intelligence analyst. Rob, welcome.
This is like watching The Twilight Zone.
So let's take a look at some of these numbers broken down for D.C. Robberies are down 28%. Homicides down 12%. Sexual abuse down nearly 50%. But look, Trump has already deployed more federal agents in the city, at least temporarily. So if this data from the Metro PD shows a significantly safer city now over last year, where's the Trump administration getting its information that things are getting worse?
Well, they're not, because it's not.
If they plan on harassing African Americans, they're going to be in for a big ass surprise, because I can tell you right now, African Americans don't give a fuck what ICE thinks. Like, or just any police harassment for any reason, any goddamn way in DC. I mean, they're fed up with that. They don't tolerate that shit there. You know, people are going to they fuck around in the wrong city and find out.
It's a nationwide trend, and it's been going down steadily since COVID across the nation, especially the numbers that you just showed in DC. It's not about the actual numbers that are going down. It's one story came out from that Doge person that had, an incident, and that happens even when crime's down. But it is also a way he has more control over federal agencies. So if you're putting more federal agencies around DC, then you have more control over it. So it's not a numbers thing. It's not a fact thing. It's a control thing.
Okay, let's pivot to the purge of top FBI officials this week.
It's just a way to harass people, to try to show control. But control over what? It's like basically it's like being a child that doesn't know how to make friends. You know what I mean? So you have to bully, and you have to make a big mess to be noticed, or you have to make a scene to have people respect you. You know, it's really backwards.
The FBI Agents Association expressed concern over the dismissals of former acting director Brian Driscoll and the head of the Washington FBI field office, Steve Jensen, who helped to oversee the investigation into the January 6th riot. These are well-respected men with decades of combined experience. You worked alongside Brian Driscoll at one point, so tell us about him and what his firing is going to do to morale inside the FBI.
Well, I know him.
Yeah, I saw that. Good luck from Russia, huh? Yeah, exactly. Real talk. Real talk. This is Putin's master plan, and Trump fell into Putin's plan, having his dick out on the table and liking little girls, essentially. Same reason why he ran into trouble with Epstein and why he's running from that. And now he's running from it all his dirty little secrets, and they're going to pull out the evidence. The evidence is coming out. Trump is going to fight it to the end. The DOJ, the FBI are not going to release the Epstein files, and even this thing that they were looking for with this with the Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein thing, the co-conspirator depositions, right? They want to hide the co-conspirators' names. Anybody else connected to it, they want to hide. That's crazy. They don't want to just hide the victims' names. They want to hide the co-conspirators' names. You know, so this government that we have is clearly complicit, is clearly conspiring. They are conspiring, and they are conspiring to keep the secrets from the American people, and they lied in the American people's face. They did, and this is the government that you're dealing with. This is what MAGA is. They lie, then they come and think that after you've seen them lie about everything 1,000 times, you all of a sudden supposed to listen to one of their Christian nationalists and shit. Like, we're supposed to give a fuck about that? That's a lie too, obviously. Then we're supposed to listen to any other rhetoric. It's all lies from them. It's all lies. There's nothing but lies.
By Driz. Driz is a legend after being made director, acting director when Kash Patel was getting confirmed. And that was even a mistake. Driz was supposed to be deputy director. Rob Hussein was supposed to be director.
Oh, did he say Kash Patel? Did he say Kash Patel? Hold on. I think he said Kash Patel. This is the weirdest goddamn. Look at this. This is so crazy. He said Kash Patel. Hold on. Please, y'all. I want y'all to take a look at this. This is the most craziest. He said Kash Patel. Here he is. This is the guy nominated to the FBI, the head of the FBI. We're going to release the Epstein files. He looks like he assaults people. I'll just put it like that. He looks like a fucking maniac. He looks like a sociopath. You know, he looks like, damn, how'd they catch this picture? What the hell was he doing when they took this picture? You know, caught by surprise? Was he staring at little girls or something and just like caught off guard? This is a crazy man. This is a crazy man. This is the craziest goddamn picture I've ever seen. It's the craziest picture, but yeah.
Announcing he'll hold a press event at the White House Monday to address violent crime in the nation's.
All right, let's go.
None of the victims today have been informed about the facts that Maxwell was moved. And that, is another just kind of slap in the face. It's also, I think, really important. There's an element of re-traumatization here. Because one of the things that Maxwell in particular did so effectively is she would taunt these victims, and she would say, or people that would be in a position to know things, and she would say, you can't do anything because we own the police, we own the FBI, we own the district attorney's office. And so that had a really chilling effect on people that come forward. And this situation today,
that is crazy.
My name is Juliet. I have a question. My question is, how many jets do you have and how would I apply to be flight attendants?
I think she's hired. Yeah, hired.
Whoa.
Now, I had a case. It was very interesting. A beautiful girl who was 17 or 18 applied to be a waitress. She's so beautiful. She's like a world-class beauty, like the young lady who just asked a question about the actress. She's so beautiful. And my people came, she said, "But Mr. Trump, she has no experience." So I interviewed her anyway, because she was so pretty. And I said, "Let me ask you, do you have any experience?" She goes, "No, sir." I said, "When can you start?"
But this is MAGA for you. I mean, this is what they have put before the American people as a representation of who they are culturally. Culturally. This is what they are fighting for. This is what they are. Women are not equals. They don't protect little girls. Little girls are just for them to prey on. What else can be said? I mean, they don't even know American history. They don't honor American history. But how can you honor American history if you don't really even know it? They mangle it. They do some of the most oxymoronic shit. I mean, look, raping little girls and saying women are not equal. At least you could not get blackmailed. At least you could just do us that favor. Sorry about that, y'all. Actually, there's this apparatus that I have on my phone here that I'm using to stream with. And it's just I forget that I can't charge my phone at the same time. But listen, is my audio on? Can y'all hear me? Yeah, now check this out. Let me just do an audio check real quick. Okay, y'all can hear me. What I was saying was that if you are going to have a president that goes after little girls, if you're going to do that, the one thing you could do the American people is not be stupid enough to get yourself blackmailed. That you could do us that favor. If you hate immigrants and you don't think women are equal, and you have all this problem with Biden, have all this problem with Kamala Harris, have all this problem with Obama, people that are not in the Epstein files, the least you could do when you go out there and go and do your little sexually deviant shit is not get blackmailed on camera, on photograph. The least you could do. And this is what what's this guy Wolf from the Daily Beast has said various times, multiple times, maybe 50 times now to different news outlets. He says he has pictures of Donald Trump with young girls naked. Multiple pictures. This is who MAGA is. This is who they represent. This is who they represent. This is who they chose to represent them. These are the people they chose. It reflects their real culture. This is who they are. What you do is what you are. What you support is what you believe in. You support a guy like Trump, who, according to Wolf, Epstein had showed him photographs of him with naked girls on his lap, bare-breasted. You did that. You supported. This is the person you voted for. You did it because this has something to do with you and your real beliefs. You support Christian nationalists that don't think women are equal. You do that. You support Christian nationalists that think that there was a, what the hell is it? Mutually, I don't know, some kind of weird way they had to phrase it. Respectful or mutual emotional bond, something like that between master and slave. This is who they are. This is how they think. This is how they think. This is part of their culture. It's not an accident. You do what you are. You support what you believe in. It's not an accident. It's not an accident. It's how you do things. It's what you really believe. And if you didn't believe it, you wouldn't do it. That's how the real world works. See, if I go outside and actually rape someone, it's because I'm a fucking rapist. Okay? That's how it actually works. Luckily enough, I haven't because I'm not. You see how that works? You see how easy that is? But when you vote for a person like Trump, it's because you identify with his behavior. You believe in his behavior. That's what you believe in. Right? When you go out there and you say you're only going after criminal immigrants, but in reality, none of the people are criminals, but yet you go and pardon a criminal who molested and sex trafficked thousands of girls. When the person you selected does that, it's because you believe in that. That's why you still support Trump, because you believe that pedophiles and molesters and sex traffickers like Ghislaine Maxwell should be left out of prison. It's not an accident. It's what you believe. It's what you believe. You do what you believe in. That's what you do. It's just not an accident. You believe in being drunk alcoholics. You put Pete Hegseth, a Fox commentator, in charge of the Pentagon. You saw him stand up there in front of NATO drinking some alcohol, what appears to be an alcoholic beverage, taking shots and sips of it. Not like the same kind of, you don't drink water the same way you drink scotch. Everyone can see the difference in how you drink it. Everyone can see it, but yet Pete Hegseth, he couldn't even hold it. He had to have that sip. Look, you don't know how to have a brief speech at NATO, answer some questions without drinking something, even water. You don't know how to do that. You don't know how to have a press conference without constantly sipping out of a glass. What the hell? What the hell? It's because you believe in that. You believe in snatching people's babies from them. You believe in that because you supported people having their babies snatched from them. You believe in being violent towards the weakest of the weak, helpless people, because you support people doing it and you see it every day being done and you stand by it. That is who you are. Everyone does not do that. That's just the reality. Everyone doesn't do that. Here's some more facts. This is more about you, who you are. Loan delinquency rates. Okay? Loan delinquency rates. Take a good look. Ruby Red and Red don't seem to be doing too well. You all are very fucking delinquent. You all are serial goddamn, you don't pay your goddamn bills. You don't pay your credit. You don't pay your fucking loans. And you got the nerve to be trying to look at other people and point the finger. Look at this goddamn map. Goddamn, what is this? Louisiana? Is it Louisiana 11.9? Who is this next to Louisiana? I can't even see. Hold on, let me blow this up. I'm sorry. Let's talk about it. Mississippi, 13.1. 13.1. What the hell? Damn. Like, guess who is not in this situation? West Virginia. Look at West Virginia out there. 10. Guess who doesn't have this bad credit score? Me. Okay? Guess who's not delinquent like this? Okay? This is crazy. Fucking this is crazy. You got the nerve to be talking about somebody else. The hell? That's all you all are, is people that just talk about somebody else. I could see why you don't want to talk about yourself. Look at this. Life expectancy by state. Notice anything? Ohio. You're Republican. If you supported Trump, all right, well, at least you'll die faster. Thank you. I appreciate that. There is some justice. Okay? Red states, South Carolina, Tennessee, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas. See, you can hate all the people you want. You can chase down all the people you want. You could be bigoted towards all the people you want. Look at yourself. Look at yourself. Karma. Karma's a bitch, ain't it? Yep. That's some good old-fashioned American karma. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, there is some justice out there. Sometimes. Let's see here. List of U.S. states with the highest poverty rate. Let's take a look. I mean, number 1, Mississippi, Republican. 19%. Damn, that's damn near 20%. 2, West Virginia, 17%. Republicans. You guys doing really good for yourselves, I see. 3, Arkansas, 16%. New Mexico, 18%. Louisiana, 18%. I'm not talking to you all that know your leadership is fucked up and wish you had better leadership. I'm talking to the ones who stand by the leadership. Okay? Alabama, 15. Oklahoma, 15. South Carolina, 14. Tennessee, 14. You starting to see the picture here? Starting to see the, I mean, do you think this is a coincidence? There's a pattern here. This is what you call being a hater in layman's terms. You all are just goddamn haters. And this hate is only going to kill you faster. That's all it's proving. You're going to be more poor because you're good at killing your fucking selves. That's what it is. You're good at killing yourselves. You are. You die faster. You people die fast. Like, straight up, by your own will, too. That's the crazy part. I mean, you all love it. Y'all stand by this shit. Yeah, y'all, we die. We die faster. Hey, ha, ha. Hey, y'all, celebrate. Should we celebrate? Everybody, they die faster. They won something. See, they won. Hurrah, hurrah. Happy for them. Yay. Anyway, let this be a lesson to you. Although I know it won't be, because you all don't stand by facts. You stand by delusions. So I want you to look in this man's eyes and understand this man who you support doesn't give a shit about you. He's just an opportunist with a crooked fucking nose. That's all he is. And he played you just like Trump is playing you, and just like your elected officials are playing you. And just like, all that shit you say, all that stuff you say about, slave master and slave, they had a mutual, some type of mutual emotional connection, blah, blah, blah. All that shit you say about women. Well, are women equal? Yes and no. All that shit you say, it's all coming back to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it is going to continue to kick your ass every single day until you're tired of getting your ass kicked. Yes. Until you're tired of getting your ass kicked. It's just going to continue because you kick your ass better than anyone has ever even tried to kick your ass. But you step out of the wrong areas. You get, a little bit of crazy and get froggy and forget that you ain't shit. You could also get, you could get it worse. But for now, you got this crazy loony. So be happy with his face. This is who you like. This is who you like. This is your man, Kash Patel. Kash Patel. The guy that's going to save the MAGA country. He's fighting for MAGA, y'all, because he wants to save America. He's the spitting image of a good immigrant. Hey, y'all. All right, I had enough fun with you guys today. Listen, I still love you. I'm going to do some gaslighting on you now. I still love you. Even though I said all of that, hey, I still love you now. Don't get it twisted. Hey, I'll be there for you in the end, okay? But in case I'm not, you know what you got, right? From me. You got war. Today and every clue, don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to click like, click subscribe? I'll be back at y'all soon. Peace. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep, leaving 7 rows to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a debt's owed? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, they want more, but they want to keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, they want more, but they so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute, you might hear, but they won't, cause the TVs whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't stare. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguise as religion, controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, they want more, but they want to keep you low, so they manifest